Peace. Welcome to the Real HD Show, the higher discussion. I'm your host, Vic, and we are back here one more again to win to all my peoples in the ethos and Estados Unidos and diaspora wide. We're here to provide that real good so that we can keep progressing, motivating, moving, and being better as a people. As we get as we proceed with our social justice and awareness show, info awareness show, we want you to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on all your notifications so that you too can tap in with us and have a higher discussion. You might have heard a lot, you might have seen things in a lot of different places talking about events related to our people, but we get down to the nitty gritty. And we're going to do that today. We're going to do that this evening. Get down to the nitty gritty on some subject matters that are of utmost importance, of utmost necessity. And we want you to ride with us. So let me know what you think. Let me know if my mic sounds nice. If it does, we could proceed. And if I kind of toggle a little bit or sound muffled, just throw it in the chat. And guess what? Throw it in the chat if you like any of the stuff that we're talking about. Total Package Energy, Redeem Vacations, and Bats Footwear. Those are our sponsors. Please enjoy the fashionable, revolutionary soul technology of the shoes. Please mob the website and buy those really great nutritional products to help you with the second half of your day. And please bring 5 people to the Real HD Show, courtesy of yourself, and get a 3-night, 4-day stay at American destination near you, courtesy of Redeem Vacations and the Real HD Show. Okay, so the call letters to join in is right here. KGMY F8EQW4. Yeah, KGMY48EQW4. So you type those letters up in the address bar above you, right in your computer, and you can come live on stage with us, chop it up, and you know, not be afraid to use your voice and not be afraid to stand on something. Because I guess that's kind of what we're doing and what that's gonna kind of be the theme of what we're talking about tonight here on the Real HD Show. You know what I mean? That's why I titled it "BuckWheat Got Shot." Now that's going back to an old school time when that was a parody on Ronald Reagan getting shot, and what that meant for the nation. So now we're back to these figures, these mouthpieces, getting pot shots taken at them by these, multinational orgs, these clandestine groups, and everybody's like panopticon. Everybody's like, oh, they watching. I can't say nothing. Can't stand on it. Can't hold your own nuts. Can't say with your chest about what's going on in your country that you pay taxes in, your world that you live in, and the things that affect you. So we want to get on some of that tonight. We want to make sure that we are giving you the deliverables on those things and many others as we move on. You know what I mean? So, as usual, we do our ancestors and elders blueprint. Why? Because we're standing on the shoulders of greatness. And often on this show, I get accused of just kind of being rhetorical, kind of going over the problems. Never get it twisted. This show is information awareness so you can move fearless. Whatever your move is, if your move is moving out of state, if your power move is buying land down south, if your power move is joining all the black people to create their own black political party, You need the information first so you can strategize to that better day. So that's what we're about here. We're about delivering that information. So we're going to get right into our ancestors and elders blueprint, and we're going to get right into it on the Real HD show. Here we go. Yeah, so we are in ancestors and elders blueprint, and we want to show you something. We often try to reinvent the wheel as far as answers are concerned, right? We say, well, we have a lot of things that ail us. We have a lot of problems in our community, a lot of savage inequalities that we may or may not be responsible for. And we don't quite know how to get ourselves out of that. Some of us do it through hustling. Some of us do it through prosperity preaching. Some of us do it by, following the corporate ladder. Some of us doing it by striking out on their own and following their own path after they tried conventional means and those means did not work. Then they had to do for self, which is probably the best thing that we should have done from the beginning. So let's hear about a family, starting off with a brother called Moses that decided to do for self. Here we go. Elders and Ancestors Blueprint. Here we go.
Bricks and chains. He built legacies with blueprints. And while history tried to erase his name, his buildings still stand. Before we begin, join us in keeping Black American stories alive. Our family activity packs, from preschool to adult, come every month and inspire learning, pride, and resilience, and more moments together as natural as gathering in the kitchen. Now, let me take you back to where it began. In the 1800s, bricklayers were forced to build the very towns and cities that enslaved them. These skilled craftsmen shaped the mansions, roads, and walls of America with no freedom, no credit, and no pay. The work was hard, the sun was unrelenting, and every actual brick was made by hand. But creating materials and bricklaying was also a skill that could not be taken away, even in bondage. And that skill would be passed down to the family he created. In 1822, Moses married a free Cherokee woman named Miriam, and they had 14 children together. After slavery ended, Moses earned a solid income crafting and selling bricks. Their ninth child, Moses II, born before slavery ended, would later earn a living building homes as a mason and carpenter. Then his son Moses III learned by watching the sound of hammers, the weight of tools, the way a wall begins with one brick, one straight line. He asked questions, practiced measuring, and by the time he was a teenager, his hands knew how to build. But Moses wanted more than to just build, he wanted to design. He wanted to decide what a structure could be, not just how it was built. In an era where black men weren't allowed into architecture schools, that dream seemed out of reach. Determined, he started his own construction business and architectural firm in 1905. How did he fund his dream when banks did not lend to black families? Moses saved every penny he earned working construction. He took small jobs, built a reputation for excellence, and reinvested every dollar into tools, designs, and his own office. His brother Calvin McKissack officially joined him in 1922. That same year, Tennessee first required architects to be licensed. The McKissack brothers were denied because they were black. Undeterred, they earned architectural degrees through correspondence courses and passed the licensing exam. There were no investors, there were no loans, just skill, reputation, and savings. In 1905, Moses and Calvin founded McKissack & McKissack, the first black-owned architecture firm in America. By 1922, they won a federal contract to build a veterans hospital in Tuskegee, Alabama. During a time when segregation was law, the McKissack story teaches even when doors are closed, a skill can be parlayed into opportunity. Today, your skill, whether it's coding, designing, speaking, fixing, or making, can be the foundation for something that lasts. 5 generations later, McKissack & McKissack is still here. Today, it is led by Cheryl McKissack Daniel, Moses' granddaughter, who now oversees billion-dollar projects.
All right. So you heard the story of Moses McKissack, one of the most decorated engineers in American history. And you know, when we're saying that people need to look to the blueprint of, we're talking about the foundation. Because sometimes we get denied for loans, we get denied doctorates, We get denied, we get homes, we get denied businesses, we get denied, we get denied, we get denied. And we understand what that's about. We know that that's about a power struggle. That's about keeping the dollar the way that this, incorporated country designed it. And they want to keep folks as a permanent underclass. So you're gonna face your level of denial. But when you face your level of denial, does that mean that, you know, step and fetch? Does it mean you know, does that mean bend the knee? Does that mean to just give in to what the society wants you to do and wants you to be? Or does that mean build your own? And sometimes to build your own, you got to go back to the foundation. You got to put your hands in that ground. You got to get them hands dirty. You got to build it. You gotta use the wood. You got to use the metrics. You got to use the math. You got to use the sciences. And you also have to use the ingenuity that's passed down to us from our ancestors, all the way from the continent, all the way from the magnificent native people that was on this land to where we are today. So the answers may not be detailed, written out, step by step function for us to follow, but you can bet your bottom dollar if you go back and put your hands in the dirt and you have a clear mind and a full heart and you're willing to put your creativity where your necessity is, you're probably gonna you're probably gonna use your ingenuity. You're probably gonna use your integrity to build something pretty special that's going to last for a very long time. And that was our ancestors and elders blueprint with Mosaic McKissack. For more on him, check out a lot of the features that his daughter, who's in charge of their estate now, and she's a chief engineer that keeps driving the McKissack estate. They're one of the wealthiest families in America. Forget black families. They're one of the wealthiest families, period, because they never let that dynasty end. The McKissack dynasty continues even till today, even with gentrification and zoning and all of the congressional lobbying. That firm is still around. They're still doing their things, you know, putting belt to ass, kicking ass, and taking names. So check out the McKissack family. There's a lot on them on YouTube. There's a lot of them online where you can learn that it's not impossible to strike out and do your own thing. It's not impossible to strike out and do your own thing. You just have to be very determined with it, and you have to bring your family along in your program. Family, friends, community along in your program. All right. So we are going to move on. And remember, the ticker is down below. StreamYard / KGMY48EQW4. That's the way to jump in. And if you want to spin, that means if you want to chop it up with us right here, if you know of a family that struck out on their own and they're doing their own thing, that's melanated in the country, and they're putting belt to ass, taking names, come on the show. Let's talk about it. Because those are the type of things that we need to inspire the youth. When I teach my kids, when I teach my students, when I teach my athletes, I try to tell them about the successes of the past. And all the athletes that you admire, they had to admire something. They had to admire someone. They had to be inspired by something that was going on in the environment, in the culture that moved them to greatness. And all the way down and all the way down and all the way down the line. It's not by accident. Um, and it's never an accident when we are successful. And then it shouldn't be an accident when we have staying power because we are supporting one another. All right, enough of that. Don't want to get super preachy. Let's get back into the next one, which is our 8AT report. Here we go. Hey, we are in a AAT report, the healthy, wealthier, and wiser for a brand new you, because we need cell power. A few years ago, a friend of mine, now I'm not going to do that, but a few years ago, we went through a pandemic, as I like to call it, and it robbed us of cell power. So everything that we can do to be healthy under the sun, air, or the water and on the land, we will, try to um, show you on the show, contribute to the show, and make it known. Okay, so I'm gonna load something up, and this is from my man Negus at Be Healthy right here in the Rock. That's right. Check out all the Be Healthy restaurants whenever you get a chance. They are really, really dope. They have super healthy foods. They offer super healthy products. They do their thing, and we want to feature them as much as possible. Um, he put something online that I wanted to make sure that everybody saw for the season about being healthy, which you can remedies of the season, things that we can concentrate on, and things that will make us healthy and plentiful. So here we go. All right, herbs for organs. I'm going to remove the ticker. I'll put it back up in a minute. Herbs for organs. So what did my man Negus say? Fall is 4 days away. Stock up on your medicine. For the brain, we got ginkgo biloba, we got cayenne pepper, we got ginseng and kelp. So go get you some of that. For the heart, we got cacao. That's right, chocolate. Right, that chocolate. We got wormwort. We got turmeric for that circulation. We got garlic for that pressure. Right. For the lungs, we got mullein. We got yerba santa. We got peppermint and yarrow. So that yarrow is the bomb. That mullein is the bomb, and so is that peppermint. Go get that in your life, and make sure you're getting authentic versions of it or adding it yourself. Like you go to like a barista and you look at the little things that you can add to your teas and your coffees and whatever you got. Boom. So for the liver, you want artichoke, burdock root. That burdock root is serious. That dandelion is serious. And you got milk thistle. And for that stomach, we got golden seal. We got fennel, we got chamomile, and we got that licorice. That chamomile is serious. That golden seal is serious. When I mean serious, I mean they provide real, results for you. They do real things for you. They really heal your ailments. Um, and you want to start doing those things on a regular basis. And for the kidneys, we got ginger, we got cranberry, we got bilberry, and we got I can't read the last one on the bottom right there. But all you got to do is go to Negus L's page on Facebook, and he has this one up for today. I didn't want to take your thunder, bro, but it was so dope. I just added it to our Healthy, Wealthier, and Wiser segment. I hope you don't mind. All right, so we're moving on. We have a video by my man Maccabee, getting it in, telling us all the things that we need to be healthy. A little different of a vibe tonight. Although will be healthy and it will be something that you can pick up at your local fresh food stand, it's of a different concentration. So let's see what Maccabee is concentrating on. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you for a long time ago letting me play your really, really dope videos. Let's get into it.
Bitter good for your liver. Could be a life giver. Don't run from bitter. If you do reconsider, it's a fear. Yeah, forget rid of. Me say people are run from bitter. Serious, start shake and shiver. Like them in a pain, sweat a run like river. You that think a baby them a deliver. You quick to drink bitter in the form of liquor and coffee and beer. You have that quicker, but bitter foods, you might be a picker. As if the bitter food make you sicker. Bitters help with a healthy lifestyle, stimulates the liver, produces bile, helps with digestion, fat absorption, helps the vitamins intestine style. Bitter chew, bitter facts, not if not perhaps. Has a big role in a detox. Certain things are in place to take out the waste, so your whole system is liable to collapse. Eat more bitter, you will want more bitter. If you have more bitter, you will want less sugar, and you know that sugar have to cut down. You say you woulda if you coulda, but you know say you shoulda. When I was a child, a little Maccabee, we drink bitter root, we drink bitter tea, cause mommy have the answer, she know the remedy. Bitter to the tongue, sweet to the belly. Don't be weak, be a food warrior. Bitter can help you to be healthier. At first you might and you might but after a while you will How want me eat Wednesdays? Yes, I am.
Saya is right. That was a Saya verse. That was a Saya Fire verse by my man Maccabee out of Brook Lawn, getting on with something with the word for us. Yeah, try them bitters, man. Get that grapefruit in your life. Get that sour sop in your life. You know, get those things that are going to make the difference in your digestion, your health, your vitality. Get that bitter opposite of the sugar. We need to be balanced. Let's get that popping. If you have any um, experience with bitters, they even use bitters in drinks. You know what I'm saying? Bitters are very, very healthy for you, and they add a really great contrast to what you're used to, which is probably a lot of sugar, a lot of fatty substances. But you want to get that bitter so that you could balance out everything going on with the body. You know what I'm saying? So if you got experience with any of the bitters, if you cook with it, if you, you know, if you eat it every morning, grapefruit, whatever you got to do, let us know. Put it in the chat. Let's talk about it. Let's have a higher discussion about the bitters. And those two add-ons was your AAT report of this week. Yeah, so we're gonna change gears and get into our lit city report. And tonight, our lit city report. Let me throw up the music. So tonight's AAT, no, I'm sorry, Lit City Report. Tonight's Lit City Report, the wacky, the wild, the wonderful things that make our world go round because we need levity. We talk about a lot of heavy subjects, a lot of dark subjects, a lot of things that, especially some of the stuff we're going to talk about tonight. But we talk about so many, it's so heavy at times that we don't take time to enjoy life, smell the roses, appreciate, value what we do, value our contributions, and how we shape the planet and leave it better than when we inherited it, right? Pardon me while I fix this. So tonight's Lit City report is going to be about two things that were really part of my upbringing and my childhood. And I ran into both of them recently, but one of them my daughter inspired me to do because she's down in Bama dancing. She dances with Dance Alabama and at Alabama University. And she told me that she choreographed a piece for her friend that's going to use it for her progression in her, personal, uh, exploits. But nonetheless, I don't know if my daughter knows about how I used to get down in the clubs with the house music and where she really got her penchant for dancing from. Because I used to dance since I was in junior high school. I used to hip hop dance. I used to house dance. And back then, if you could hip hop dance, then it all blended into the house movement, which was like the late 80s, early 90s. And man, you go to them clubs, you go to 54, you go to Kilimanjaro, you go to Club New York, you go to California, you go to the Cheetahs, you go to any of them New York clubs. Man, they put that bump, 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 bump. Man, you lose your mind. You come out of there drenched. It was a good time. Even if you didn't get a number, even if you didn't get the attention that you were seeking that night, you walked out of there feeling like you enjoyed yourself and you was in rhythm with the music, you was in rhythm with the frequency of the outing. You felt like you was in the rhythm of the frequency of, you know, the atmosphere. And people actually went out to dance. Like that was the thing. We actually got sweaty drenched dancing and cutting up and dancing to hip hop and dancing to the house music and dancing to reggae music and dancing to the all pop culture songs. We wore it out. So I see we got a response. Let me get to that comment in just 1 second. I'm gonna play this video about house music. And my daughter got this was I was thinking of my daughter and everything that she's doing with her dancing, and I'm gonna send this to her, but I'm not sure if she knows that this is how her daddy used to get down back in the day. All right, here we go. Lit City Report. Let's do it. miss them days. Yo, that's when you wasn't afraid to jump on your knees and do a split and get it into that music. That music made you feel so alive. That music made you feel so good inside. Man, I miss them days. I can still get down if I need to, but wow. Who could forget, you put that Soho hot on that hot music, music. Oh man. You just get it in, man. You just lose your brains. So let's go and let's see what some of the people, let's see what some of the comments is talking about. Uh yep. Lady T says, yep. Red dancing all night till they close. Yes, for sure. And then you use the club hop. So when one spot decided, it was a dub, you go to the other club. Another spot, you go to another spot. And you did it. And you even went borough to borough. You know what I mean? The only borough that was a little crazy to get into was Brooklyn, because Brooklyn and bring that heat out on you. So you ain't really. I rock with Brooklyn. Shout out to Nostrand Ave. Shout out to Bedford, Stuyvesant. Shout out to Quincy, all troops, all them great joints, and Best Style Do or Die. But you didn't really mess with Brooklyn. You stayed in New York if you wanted to dance. You stayed in Manhattan if you wanted to dance vibe. Just wanted to show that. Our other lit city report for the evening. Man, if anybody could testify, Lady T, you can continue if you like. No, I'm in bed by Yo, stop telling on us, man. Lady T said, now I'm in bed by 11. 11 yeah, that's how I go. By 11, your body make you get the yawning. You get the yawns on, until that blue light wake you up, and now you up for another 3 hours. Anyway, so, you know what I'm saying? If we telling the truth, if y'all out there telling the truth. So what we want to get into now was something that was near and dear to my heart while I was in junior high school, and that was my love of comics. It was my love of comic books. Shout out to my man Tim that was hanging out with me and lived in River Park Towers. We both lived in Building 40. I lived on the 42nd floor. He lived on the 35th floor. And I used to go see him, and we would save our little breakdancing money, go to comic book conventions. We would get it in. And when I saw Power Man, which is like, Luke Cage, right? Which is the big Netflix hit. His original name was Power Man in the comic books. Came out in the late 60s, early 70s. And when I saw this was done the way that it was done, it just took me back to all of the things that I was into, all of the comics that I collected, and how special that time was. Let's check it out. Real HD Show tribute to Power Man. Here we go. Yeah, man. Anybody could relate. Anybody out there could care about that, give two cares about it. Throw it in the comments. If you had a brother, a cousin, a father, and they passed that comic book tradition down like I did. If you had a friend group and y'all all rotated and revolved around the comics, going to the comic book conventions, buying the rare comics, putting them in the plastics, putting them on your wall, treating them with kid gloves, because you knew just one day that comic was going to be worth a lot of money. And you did it for the love of it, because you admired the characters, you admired the plot points, you admired everything that went into those comics and how they had the special nature of being involved with comics. Put it in the chat, especially those featuring black characters. Put it in the chat. Let's talk about it real quick. You know what I mean? If not, we gonna move it along. All right, man. So we are gonna do our stolen legacy moment on the show. We haven't done this in a while. It's time to do it. It's very pivotal based on what we're going through as a country. And they're trying to erase Black presence, out of museums, out of books, out of the culture of America. They really can't do it because if they did it, it'd just be a corny place to live in. We had that sauce, we had that fire, we had that flavor to Estados Unidos, and they know that. They know that. If you watch that movie Footloose, you know. Hey, peace, sister Aurora. Welcome to.
No.
I'm trying to remember which one of my shows I'm on.
I know.
The Real HD Show, the High
That's the
Discussion.
media mogul.
I'm trying. I am trying to build this channel. It is it's a labor of love for sure. For sure.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm running late. I just needed to grab something to eat.
no, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're feeling a little bit better. I hope so.
Yep. Yep.
And I'm glad you're here to kick it with us and have a higher discussion. We just got out of the Lit City report, and part of the Lit City report was a venture down old school comics, right?
Mhm.
The old school comics that were passed down from your granddad to your dad to your uncle to you or maybe your sister, but the comics was always moving. Everybody read them. Everybody was into them. Whether it was
Yep.
Archie and Jughead, whether it was
That's
Power
right.
Man, whether it was Spider Man, you passed them
Mhm.
comics along. Everybody got a part of them. Everybody got a piece of them.
That's
I was an
right.
avid collector. By the time I was in junior high school, I was going to the comic book conventions in downtown
Wow. That's
Manhattan and
great.
buying I would spend my little breakdancing money on comics. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I thought it was like a little investment in self. You know what I mean? Like, yo, these gonna be worth
It was,
money
if
one
you
day.
still have them.
I don't have them. I
And that's
don't
the same with me. I used to
Oh
keep
my
them.
gosh. I
And
had a whole wall full. I had boxes full.
I
And then,
had the mantis, I had
uh-huh.
all of those. I'm like, I would be rich if I kept all the things that we should have
Right.
kept.
Tell me about it. Oh my gosh. My initial reason, pardon me, I don't know if you can hear me. My mic just went nutty on
Yeah.
me. Yeah, so my initial reason for doing it was, now by the time I am who I am at my age, I wanted to be able to pass them down to my kids and their kids
Mm-hmm.
and so on and so on and so on. But I
Yeah.
can introduce them to them. Life was life and back then.
Absolutely.
Life was
Absolutely.
life and back in the 80s, you know what I mean?
That's
And
right.
brothers had to move with their parents from apartment to apartment and place to place. And
Mhm.
you had to make life what life is, you know what I mean? And I lost all them comics. So it is what
That's
it
it.
is. It is what it is. I got my health. I'm good.
That's
But I
right.
always have my love of comics, my love of the art, my love of Bill, and especially when it was comics that featured black characters like Luke Cage or,
Yes.
I mean, we can go
Mantis.
Storm, all those black characters that you were like, yeah, I can't wait for the next
Yeah.
issue. I would run to Fordham Road in the Bronx and spend my little money. I would walk there I would
Mhm.
walk. Like I'm in the North Bronx walking from 233rd all the
Yeah.
way to 100 and what was that? 194th Street?
We used to walk a lot.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
And
What was I
seriously,
thinking?
I
That was
walked
my
from
Saturday. I couldn't just
thank
wait to
you.
go and get the new X-Men or whatever was out,
We
It
walked
was
from
it,
116th Street to 34th Street with no problem. It was
right,
no
right.
problem.
Wow.
And now I
Yeah,
don't even go around
those are
the
my
corner.
days hanging out with my cousins down in Chelsea.
Yeah, yeah.
We used to go to the
Yep.
pool. We used to go to the pool down on Second Street. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Not Second Street, Second Avenue. Yeah.
They used to pick me up from 34th Street, literally
Uh-huh.
walking, not having taken the train. Okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we'd walk back uptown. And,
Yeah, we
and it
wore
was
them shoes
fun.
out.
There was something to see, you know. By the time
Mm-hmm.
you passed 20 blocks, you didn't even know it. Okay.
Yep. Yep. And you learn how to be an adult for real, for real.
That's right.
You learn how to be an adult for sure. Yeah, so we went through, Mosaic McKissick in our ancestors and elders blueprint and how the McKissick Empire is one of the richest black families in America. They've been around since the 1800s, building and engineering and
Wow.
creating in America. And it's like one of those don't tell nobody that there's black billionaires in the United States
Right.
that aren't rappers and athletes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the daughter now is the chief engineer of the firm, and she runs it. And they have a nice little doc on YouTube.
Wow.
Check it out. And then we did on the health and wellness report. We did our spring, not our spring, our fall herbs and additives to boost the body. Okay, so anybody who missed it, you can go back and check it out. It's worth it. That was sponsored by Be Healthy and my brother Negus. He's always putting these things out on his Facebook page. I thought I would
Thank you.
highlight it tonight. So we are here for this tonight. BuckWheat got shot. BuckWheat is dead. And I said, PTSD is alive and well, living rent free in our heads. Man, we're gonna get into that. I think some people know why. If you can read the forest before the trees, I think you know what I'm talking about. And we're gonna get into that this evening because it matters. Now, personally, I don't fear nothing, and I'm not in awe of anybody. But that panopticon is a bitch. You know what I mean? That ability for people to put a micro message out there and for people to just follow it blindly because they're afraid of consequences, unintended consequences for yourself, for your family, blah, blah, blah. But if we did that, we wouldn't have hip hop. We wouldn't have the music and the entertainment that we enjoy. We wouldn't be as creative of a people as we are. Life just wouldn't be as saucy and spicy as it is right now, and worth smiling and worth living if we just follow the good path all the time. And sometimes what they prescribe as the good path is really a path for one demographic to benefit from, not necessarily you and your family. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm talking about that influential Caucasian figure who just got that pium pium put
Just
up in him.
got.
Yeah, he just got. I'm gonna call him CK because I don't really, I don't like giving him that much attention. I don't really think he was that influential. I don't think he was that important. I don't think he was that skillful of an orator. Actually, I thought he was kind of weak and obsolete because if you're a grown man, almost 40 years old, and you got to go debate 21-year-olds to prove that you're some sort of superior intellect,
Say that.
like you ain't really doing much, dude. Like you ain't really handling like that. Like I ain't see you go take on Cornell West. I ain't see you go take on. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember Candace
Thank you.
Owens, and I don't know if you ever saw this one, Sister Aurora. If you have any experience with it, of course you have experience with this. What am I saying? I'm talking to Sister Aurora. She's done everything. She's climbed mountains. She went to ninja school. She did everything. They're playing. Candace Owens, who was down with Turning Point USA, and she was also down with Ben Shapiro's media outlet. And what I did not know is that her father-in-law, she's married to uh, a white guy whose father-in-law is down with the House of Lords in London.
Oh, get out.
Yes. So that makes a lot of sense now. How she came out of nowhere to this rise of promise in national recognition. I was like, where did this girl come from? I ain't never heard of her. At least you've seen Oprah on the news.
Thank you.
At least Oprah was a newswoman. Where does Candace chick come from? With everything in the world to say. You know what I'm saying? Her father-in-law is down with the House of Lords of London. And I was like, things that make you go, okay. Got it now. Okay. Nepo baby. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know? So, anyhow, we talking about the CK character. And I don't know if you saw it, but I saw it. And, I wish our folks would just, stand on it, hold your own nuts. If you're going to say something, say it with your chest. Mama and daddy told you to put your chest up, stick your chin out, and say what you got to say.
Thank you.
Own it. Or don't say it at all.
That's
but
right.
What I'm seeing online, and I'm seeing in the community, and I'm seeing all over the place, is people are real conditional and they real careful with their words and they dancing and they walking on that thin ice that's about to crack. Well, he wasn't all bad because he said this, and if you really think about it, this means that. And then
can't celebrate the death of somebody. Okay.
Right. That is bothering me to no end. That is
I'm like,
bothering me. Not
since
that I
when?
wish anybody's demise, and I'm just saying that for point of
Since
reference of the
when?
show. So all of these media outlets that want to say whatever they want to say about the Real HD show, I am not wishing anybody death.
Hmm.
But you are who you are, and your record on this planet will follow you.
Absolutely.
The works you did on this planet while you were here will follow you, and people will have some good things to say or some not so good things to say.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And in the case of this CK guy, there's a whole lot of people with some not good things to say, but they're walking on eggshells to really say it.
Hmm.
So what do you think about that? What do
Well,
you think
it's
about
true.
all the walking on broken glass?
And you're seeing it, and you're seeing it in, like, on the areas where people are like, oh, all of a sudden you can't have free speech, you get shut down. Business
Right,
people, especially faculty, you know, faculty is curbing their tongue. Now, they're the first ones that will tell us there's academic freedom, there's freedom of the press, there's freedom of speech. And now, their tongue is getting caught in between their teeth because they're biting down on it.
right.
know, but
Yeah, like hold your own nuts. That's how we say it in the hood. Hold your own nuts. Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest. I don't know what the ladies say to the ladies, but the fellas say hold your own nuts. Say the shit. Stand on it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Stand on business. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
it's it's the force demographic. It's the force. It's the what do they call that? The force theory doctrine. They
Hmm.
have the force. I'm talking about the macro powers that be. They have the force and they have the influence. So they figure if they come out and they say what they need to say, how they need to say it, they won't get the goodies and be in the positionality that they're in, and they won't get the rewards for saying it how they really need to say it. And I, for one, think that's a lot of BS. Because honestly, we're not anywhere better. We're not any better shape as a community, as a people, as a nation, as a race, as a whatever, however you want to aggregately call us. We're not any better for people holding their tongue.
Hmm.
We still have a lot of savage inequalities. We still only produce 3% of the gross GDP in the country
Yeah.
when we've been here for 400 plus years. Oh, brother Mozzie's in the building. Hey, peace, brother Mozzie. How you doing, bro?
Hi,
I'm
brother.
doing
How
all
are
right.
you?
I'm all right, miss. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
I
Yeah,
made
we talking about the CK fella. I'm not gonna say his whole name because I'm not gonna give him that type of power. He's not that influential or significant or important. But we're talking about walking on broken glass or holding your own nuts about what you feel is important to talk about in this world for your people, your family, your country, whatever you stand on. And there's a lot of people walking on that broken ice, bro. What do you think, man?
well. I'm
They
just
making
trying to
they
figure.
they're prefacing a lot of statements. Well, we don't ever want to say somebody should be this way or that way, but go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
It's just interesting, man, because people don't have no talent. And
Mm,
when you think about what it is that person's ever did, they haven't done anything.
right,
Literally, there's no meaningful legislation. They
right,
didn't come up with some, anything.
right.
And we all know that TP is their organization that everybody know uh, is very prejudicial. Let's just say that.
Uh
Yeah.
huh.
But
Uh huh.
what's even funnier is that you have these minions following a kid who, when you look at his background, he comes from more than a silver spoon.
Right,
His dad had a hedge fund, was running a hedge fund or something like that, or his mom. I mean, this kid comes from some serious money,
right, right, right,
and he was always known as he was just a rich kid who was a jerk. And so what
yeah,
has
and
happened from there is the powers that be, so to speak, uh, to further the narrative and to further the agenda, pretty much just
I think, of course, they propagated him into, talking about the things he talks about. And it's like all it did was really amplify what was already in existence. Because for this man to find himself no longer here, and we got flags flying at half mast, and everything he's ever,
That part.
Hello.
you know what I mean? And it's amazing the amount of a lot of people in the European community that I knew that actually supported. Like they were also along the lines of like they felt they couldn't believe this happened, and they're defending this guy. And I'm saying to myself, "Wow, I've known you for 20 years, so you've been thinking like this all this time."
Yeah. Yeah.
And the sad thing is his story and his narrative, everything was built on only one thing. And I asked some individuals, our boy who Mr. Williams, you're supporting a guy and you're skinning and grinning next to a guy that his entire
Yeah.
I sent you that, right? You got
know
that?
what you're talking about.
I sent you the picture.
Yes, sir.
And I'm
sir.
saying this guy has built a platform on denigrating black people.
Yeah.
And he doesn't tell.
What? But guess what? That ain't nothing unusual for that group of folks. For that demographic.
No, it's not.
What's unusual about that? They done spent 400 years doing that. What's different about what he was doing?
Yeah.
That he was propagated. Hey, let me say what's up to Godspeed. Peace, bro. Welcome to the Real HD Show.
Hey, my brother. How are you?
Peace, luck. What's going on, bro? Can you hear me? Oh, we can't hear you, bro. You might want to go out and come back in, and maybe that'll clear up the audio issues. Continue, Brother Mozzie. I was just trying to welcome Brother Luck into the show. Well, while we're waiting on Brother Mozzie and Godspeed to jump into the fray, did you want to say something, bro? Because you're on the show. You linked up. So, can you hear me? Okay,
I hear you.
He probably caught it. Okay, cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at a quick vid. We're gonna take you back into time, and we're gonna look at a quick vid that will kind of take me back to my youth days of watching one Eddie Murphy do it really, really well. Fair use. And we're gonna get into it, have a little bit of fun with this before we get real serious. Check it out.
Everyone knows by now that BuckWheat is dead. But for those of you who have not seen the videotape of BuckWheat being shot, let's take a look.
No, BuckWheat.
Remember this.
I love you. Hey, was that Arsenio Hall? That looked like Arsenio Hall a little bit.
It does, kind of. Because he used to rock. He was Eddie Murphy. Like you would have thought they had a relationship the way he used to.
That was his boy.
That's his boy.
Yeah.
Dog. Peace, Godspeed. Can you hear us now? Can you talk?
I can hear you now. You can hear me?
Yeah, you in the
building.
Peace.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yo, I just
want
to say, I caught a tail end of what Brother Mozzie was saying, and I stand on what he's saying, man. I caught a little bit. I'm standing on all of it. I'll just rewind and catch the rest of it, though.
Yeah, we're talking about the CK character.
All I needed was like they say in Spanish, all I needed was poquito, and I'm standing on it.
Un poquito. Yes, sir.
Un poquito.
Sir.
So we're talking about the CK guy, because I'm not trying to give him no power.
Nah. Yo, my quick joke. I got a quick joke.
Now, go ahead.
Instead of hanging flags half-mast for that idiot, I would hang it for this man right here, living and breathing. This man's picture I got right here.
Oh,
best thing. That was the best thing we had since Joe Louis. Okay. That reminded me of the time.
Bet on Bud.
Bet on Bud.
Yep. There you go.
You know what I mean?
You guys know what I mean too.
Yes.
That whole environment reminded me of the reading when I used to read up on Joe Louis's situations. You know what I mean? And what his matches meant back then. I'm gonna keep it a $1.50 with y'all.
Blackjack Johnson.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm gonna keep it a $1.50. In this era, that's what that was. In this era, that's what that was. Keeping it a buck.
Mm.
It might not seem that way, but I'm
Where's
telling you.
Canelo from? Where's Canelo from? What part of which one of the Spanish countries?
Mexico.
Go.
Oh, he's Mexican. Oh, okay.
Yep. Yep. Full-blooded, boy. Full-blooded.
Full
But like
blooded. Okay.
for me,
So we don't get
because
too
of
far off on a tangent.
yeah.
Here's the thing. No. I want to talk about the boxing real quick.
Go ahead.
People fail to forget that Dazin was trying to be like Dazin, the cable channel,
Yes, sir.
was trying to be like ESPN,
Correct.
Mhm.
and they hung their hopes on Canelo. Because I don't know if you
Yes.
remember about 10, I don't know how many years ago it was, but he had
Mhm.
signed, I think it was like a 10-year, $350 million contract.
Yep.
Mm.
That's a
Okay.
So
fact.
he was not going to lose,
Mhm.
because if he would have lost, here's all this money that you had guaranteed to this guy.
Yep.
And now I think the contract is up, and it's like, yo, you got to go out there and fight now.
Yep.
But they thought he would beat him up. But the other thing is, thank goodness for Turk Al-Sheikh, because he says, listen,
Mhm.
if y'all won't fight, you're going to fight. Here's the money.
Yep.
So
Dude came.
he had the De La Hoya contract, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The
You know,
amount of fights
like
De La Hoya had to do for the pay-per-view outlets back in the day. Yeah.
you
Mm-hmm.
know, the split was crazy because you know you're looking at 150 mil for Canelo because of this brand that they say that he built. And I mean, no, don't get me wrong, I'm a Canelo fan too. I like him as a boxer, but you know, to me, they gave him, you know, the complexion with the connection. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
you
Yep.
know, for the ultimate protection, as they say. So you know, the judges was juxing people, as we say out here in New York, man. They were putting the jukes in. You know, they were just kind of, you know, give him a fight that he might have lost. You know what I'm saying? Because they were using him as this big, you know, they wanted to make him the new pay-per-view king because, you know, of all the aesthetics involved. You know, he got Mexico on his back, no question. But also, too, got to keep it real. He got the look. He got the look. They want to know better. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
with all that said, you know, when Bud was coming up, Bud and him was coming up about the same time, y'all. And I'm gonna tell y'all straight up, they did Bud dirty when he was at Top Rank. Not to get all boxing crazy, but I'm just gonna show and prove how they want to keep the original man down. You know what I'm saying? This man had knocked out about 9 to 10 people in a row, yet still boxing media want to act like, oh, he's not a draw. He can't draw fans. He's not marketable. I'm sitting there like, what's more marketable in boxing than knockouts? Since when? Since
Even
when?
when every fight he's had a big draw. So I don't even.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, look, man, they just, you know what it is? Keeping it a $1.50. The brother, the brother is highly melanated. God bless him for having that. I wish I was. And yo, real talk, the braids, the locks, because he had locks at one time. You know how it is, man. He's just that good, and they were just trying to keep him that much down. That's all. But he fought his way up. He beat everybody, kicked everybody's tail from 135 all the way up to 168. And now they know that they can't run away from the fact that he's pound for pound.
What I hope he doesn't do is
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't continue fighting. He's 38.
Yeah, I know.
He has really nothing left to prove,
Nah.
especially against some of these young dudes. And you don't want to see that happen where these guys get up there, you get the big signature win,
Yeah.
you know. And then when you talk to him and see some of his, not talk to him, but if you see some of his interviews,
Yeah.
he was on our Shannon Sharp show and he was talking about, man, I drive a freaking GMC Denali pickup.
Yep.
And he talked about, investing his money, saving his money. I don't need to be in no 10,000 square foot mansion because when I stop boxing, I got to still pay for that bad boy.
Yep. He's practical,
You know what
man.
I mean?
He owns real estate, y'all. He spends his money on real estate, not jewelry. He might have one little chain that he wear with Prime written on it. And I know it means something to him, meaning like he's in his prime up to this time. But you know, just one little piece of jewelry. This man is not even like flashy like that. You know, I love him. I love him. I love him. He ain't perfect. None of us are. Sometimes on the mic, I feel like, oh man, if he would just kind of, you know, go the extra mile on the mic, a little more insight on certain things.
Well,
But
see, that's what it is. He doesn't have the Dion Muhammad Ali
no, he don't.
showmanship.
Yeah, he don't.
He
He
doesn't. He
don't.
doesn't offer that. He just
No, he
offers
don't.
that belt to ass. That's all he do.
Yeah, that, and you know what's funny? He talked like you too. He said something like that too.
Yeah, he don't. He ain't the talker, but he'll put that
Yeah.
belt to ass real quick.
You know what he said? You know what he said, Vic? He said, yeah, you know how y'all say belt to ass? He said, in my parts, they say I'm the buckle.
Right. You ain't want no parts of that buckle.
But
Nobody.
you know,
Yeah, man. Yeah.
all right.
So we gave Bud, and I like the way that Max Kellerman gave him his flowers too over the
Yeah,
lifespan of his career. So if he don't fight another fight, somebody's going to acknowledge us as he's one of the better fighters that the sport ever had. You know what I mean?
absolutely, absolutely,
Pound
absolutely.
for
You know,
pound. You know what I mean?
it's an undeniable thing. Like I said, you know, like he had a 9 to 10 match streak of knocking people out or making them not come off their stool.
Yeah.
And then they want to say he's not marketable. So that to me that's prejudice, B. How you gonna say that, B? Not in boxing. In boxing, knockouts bring people out. What are you guys
Yeah.
talking about? You
Yeah.
guys could fumble it. His own manager fumbled the ball and didn't allow him to fight Pacquiao when Pacquiao still had a little, you know, juice and ability. And he
Right.
hid Pacquiao from this guy, and he admitted to it. I got footage where the guy admitted that, yeah, I kept him away from Pacquiao because I knew he would hurt him really bad. How you do that? That's not boxing.
Right.
That's prejudice, B.
Well, just like boxing,
Yeah,
you know, what we going through with these, events that are happening in our world and in our environment and our community that
yeah.
affect us, like this CK character,
Yes, this
all of
character.
the tidal wave of
All that crap.
kind of
People getting
national
fired. People getting
vitriol
fired.
on behalf of him.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me. Not it reminds me. I wasn't around back then, but I watched enough of it. It reminds me of Birth of a Nation. It reminds me of
Yes.
Birth of a Nation. It
Yes,
reminds
sir.
me of the fourth, fifth, and sixth estate in
Yeah.
the United States, where they celebrated and they wanted to they propagandized a lot of what they wanted Americans to kind of be about or value or think is important. What I don't like I just told Brother Mozzie, is what was all of us walking on this broken glass and
Mm-hmm.
not saying it with full throated and with
Right.
your chest out, not saying it
Right.
in a real freaking way
Right.
about how whether or not if you want to say something about this dude, say it.
Yeah.
But don't be
Facts.
walking on broken glass because you feel you're gonna get some retribution from somebody
Right.
on something because this is their poster boy for their base. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I agree with you, bro. I agree with you 100%. Like I said, I only heard a little piece of what Brother Mozzie said, but I stand on all of what he said, regardless of not even catching the first part. Because real talk is this, man. What you're saying is absolutely true. That dude is an enemy to my people, period. No matter what we call ourselves. Maybe we call ourselves Moors. Maybe we call
Right,
ourselves Niggers. Maybe we call ourselves African American, Negro,
right.
Black, and Colored. Whatever we want to call ourselves, he is absolute, profound, like enemy. You know what I'm saying? And he's
Exactly.
one of the worst ones
Whatever. Yeah,
because he was actually
whatever train
skilled.
stop we at right now. Exactly.
Yeah, because he was actually skilled. You could tell somebody took him under their wing and taught him how to debate, and then he was just debating like students. I mean, you know, like I'm pretty much saying what you
No,
guys probably touched on. Mm-hmm.
hold on. He wasn't a skilled debater because he never baited
Right.
anybody with some skills.
Oh, I was getting there. I
That's
was getting there. I was gonna get there. I was gonna get there. I was on my way there. I'm with you. I'm with you. That's why I'm standing on whatever you said before.
Yes.
Your real talk. I didn't see him go up against no Reza. I didn't see him go up against like Dr. Umar, and I'm just calling out popular names. You know what I'm saying? Like I told, if Vic is my witness, Vic, didn't I tell you that Brother Mozzie would have cooked his ass? Oh, pardon my French. Didn't I tell you that, Vic?
Yeah.
Didn't I
He
tell
ain't
you
come
that a
on
few
here.
days ago?
He ain't come on a Real HD show for no smoke with me and Brother
And didn't I
Maz.
didn't I
That
tell
wouldn't
you
have
I
happened.
know that you would have cooked him too? You know what
Come
I'm
on,
saying?
man.
He ain't stepped to none of our real ones. You know what I mean?
Nah,
Debating
not
college
like that.
students, like
Not like
and these
that.
and they're not even like, no disrespect. You know what I'm saying? I'm just glad that we got some youth that's doing something for themselves. You know what I'm saying? But
But
they don't
to
have
me,
that
that's like,
upbringing.
hey,
You know what I'm saying?
but to me, bro, that's like picking on the babies. Don't pick on the
It
babies.
is.
Right.
It is absolutely,
They just learning, man. They just
absolutely.
learning. Don't pick on the babies.
Yeah, when Khalid Muhammad was debating people, he wasn't debating no college students. He was
Right,
debating lawyers. He was
right,
debating the lying lawyer. Remember the one where he was like, "You are the lying lawyer."
right,
He said, he
right.
said, he said, he said, he said, that ain't Jesus. That ain't Christ. When he's debating him over what Jesus looked like or whatever, right? He was like, that ain't Jesus.
But
That ain't Christ. He said, and he took a picture of Jesus and slammed it on the ground and the glass broke up. He's like, will the real Jesus please stand up? I was cracking up. Now that man was
Mhm.
debating adults.
Thank you.
Well, he wouldn't have
I
got the
got
sheep. He wouldn't have got the sheeple that that flock to him,
Right.
and they use him as like a rubric of how to be white in
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
If he debated, like he got on a joint with Tariq Nasheed and just had a conversation and got embarrassed and got up out of there. So
Oh.
when you deal with people that got a little bit of weight behind them, that study a little
Oh.
bit,
I
he
didn't know that
cowering.
part. I
He a
didn't know that.
vampire in the sunlight. Go ahead, brother Mozzie.
Oh.
CK got on with Tariq.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
they
that.
just had a cup of coffee conversation. Nothing. But Tariq brought it to him real quick, easy like real quick and easy like. And I was just like, man, come on, like you know, he didn't
Good.
want to embarrass himself, and he didn't want to embarrass the brand, the multinational org brand that's behind him.
Right.
I didn't
But
know that. I
They
didn't
said
know
that's
here's
that.
the
probably not a
thing.
good idea for you to do that anymore.
But
Didn't know
here's
that.
what we gotta look at. It's not really about CK.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because think about this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Although he was popular, he was only popular in a small corner.
Okay.
Thank you. Like
Okay.
where? Like
And now he was getting some traction around because he had a lot of Sambo soldiers out there,
Mm-hmm.
helping to
Yes.
carry the mantle and
Yep.
pushing him to the forefront. But in the scheme of things, he wasn't. He had a lot of time. His organization wasn't really growing, and they weren't grabbing folks who kind of come out to the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
When he got shot, that's him getting shot is definitely the deep state. And the reason why I say that
Oh, I'm glad you brought
is
that up.
because
I got a whole thing for that. We're about to get into it. Go ahead.
because if anybody who ever shotguns on a regular basis, I'm not just talking about you shoot one for fun, but you're actually trying to shoot targets.
Mm-hmm.
Anything over 100 yards away, no average Joe is going to be able to hit. Not only that, he shot him with a general high power rifle. It was too far. It wouldn't have did the job the way he did it.
Right.
And at 100 yards or more, you have to be a marksman, and 9 times out of 10 you're going to have a spotter.
Right.
Right.
Boom. Dad, bro, you taking my whole show from me, man.
I'm sorry, man.
Go ahead, Bill, bro. You do your thing. I'm glad you on.
But then you throw in the fact that when you look at the people who were standing behind him, my son was in the military. Those are military signals. Take the shot.
Yes.
Take the shot.
Yes. Yes. So I'm glad you mentioned that because this was definitely, I believe you too. This is definitely a psyop, meaning if anybody doesn't know what a psyop is, that means it's like a collective move toward taking someone out and painting a picture that's opposite of the truth. And like when the vehicles blew up outside of the Trump hotels.
Right.
And everybody wanted to paint one picture of it when it was actually something else. And the damning evidence was left in the wreckage and the carnage and the wreckage and the ashes. They found planted papers. Now, how a planted paper is going to survive, something a Carson like that? How is it going to survive fires of that magnitude? But they found papers, which is retarded. Anyhow, let's get back to CK, right? So this is like a psyop on the Fort Bragg, Fort Liberty scale. Did y'all know that there was a book called The Assassination of Charlie Kirk that came out right before he was assassinated?
No,
Yep.
I didn't know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was already up on with 2 books actually.
Yep.
Wow.
That were on Amazon.
Hey,
Wow.
the Simpsons might have made an episode about it.
I was going to say.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They might have made an episode about it before he got taken out. This was
here's what's
planned.
interesting about the books. The books were written as if they done did 6 months of analysis after his shooting.
Right.
So these weren't like just some regular old books about, him getting shot. Yep, he's going to get shot. No, it's like their deep analysis of the shooting. It's like, bro, he just got shot. You can't even have an analysis yet.
Yo, that is insane.
Not only that,
you
bro,
know, the plan of the enemy is such that, collateral damage. Here you go. Okay.
Because so they pulled the listing from Amazon right after he got shot. How about that?
Wow. Right.
What?
So why you pulling listings?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it gets better. It gets better. Right?
You're not going to talk about the guy who talked about it on the radio show, did you?
Oh, no, I'm going to talk about the Jerusalem Post.
Okay, that's what it was. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Jerusalem Post. There was a beat writer for the Jerusalem Post, who was the first one to announce that he had got shot. He was the first one to cover it, like lickety split on the spot. And they were saying that, here's the craziest part about this. Y'all ready for this? The Tyler Robinson kid, who they're saying was the actual shooter.
Yeah.
He's an actor.
No, that part I didn't know. Damn.
He has an IMDb page, bro.
No, I did not know that.
Oh, jeez.
I know his father. I heard that his father turned him in, and he probably got the $100,000. But I didn't know all of this other stuff. Wow.
I don't think you heard me. The young white guy who they said shot the CK is an actor.
And I don't know if you noticed, but there's 2 pictures of him out there. There's the one where they caught him on surveillance camera, and then there's another one where he's at the jailhouse, and they're like, these 2 people are not the same.
Oh wow!
And we're getting into the stage, and it's been they told us years ago in that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, True Lies.
Right. And then
they're gonna put something.
No, go ahead. Finish, bro.
No, when they say True Lies, think about that. They're telling you something's the truth, and it's staring you in the face, and you say no, but it's a lie. And you're sitting there saying, but no, man, no, it's this. And they're saying, no, that old technology. What's that one? I forgot which comedian it was or what show it was. And it was like, wasn't me. Like, no, I know that. Oh, it's Eddie Murphy. When he's talking about, he's like, nah, I just saw you coming out of that house, and I know that was you, Eddie. He's like, wasn't me. Yeah, yes, it was, because he had on the same thing that you had on, Eddie. I know what you was wearing. Wasn't me.
Right.
Wasn't me.
Right. What was that, Delirious?
That was the other one.
Oh,
that was Raw, yeah. Wasn't me.
Murphy Raw. Yeah, I remember that. That's what inspired the Shaggy song. But back to the CK psyop piece. Now there was a sergeant in the military. His name is Captain Asqualita, right? And he agrees that it's a psyop. So he came out, he held his own nuts, and he said, they're not even trying to fake this stuff anymore. They put Antifa on the rifle that he shot with. Like, that's important. And on the round that in the rounds that were found from the magazine that connects to the rifle, it had Israel on the bullets. Look,
What?
So you're telling me he had time to get Israel professionally engraved in these rounds?
That is insane. Wow.
But here's what's even funnier.
He had time to get Antifa professionally written on the shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
And then he takes that joint to the spot and shoots the round from that distance. Bro.
Wow.
Come on.
And then and not only that, he carried him in a 1990s duffel bag.
Right.
Wow.
And anyone knows about those rifles, it's bolt action, and there's a segment of that rifle you can't take apart unless you got machinery to help you unhook it.
Exactly.
Break it apart.
There's a screw. There's a bolt screw that goes in through the entire rifle. Yes.
And you got to have the right machinery.
Yep.
To break that down. So how he supposedly had it in his leg, his pant leg, walking with it,
Yeah.
This,
to the point where they couldn't find it, right? To the point
where they couldn't find it. You know what's so bad about this one? If everybody get out the fields, they'll realize this was real sloppily done.
Yes.
But they're testing the emotion. I think part of it is they're testing the emotion of where people are. Because remember, I was always taught that they will always throw a feeler out there to see where we're at. And then it will determine what the next phase is. You know, they felt he had created enough cachet. They felt that they could do something and then everything will go crazy. Because think about it. Shoot the guy. First thing everybody was thinking, it was black folks. Show them white folks. And then you heard about Megyn Kelly when she was on the news.
No, what did she say?
She tried to spin it to Obama.
Oh yeah. Oh Lord, it always falls back on Obama.
They keep his name in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it always falls back. And next thing you know, you're gonna hear the president trying to strip him of his security too.
In the middle of Utah. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Right,
okay. OJ. Okay.
It's something that's not right in this country anymore, and it's been that way since Obama.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So one other part of it, right, is that hold on, we went over that. We went over the ad hominems on the gun. That's still and then the dude, if this was such a, what do you call that? If this was such a passion play, right? You want to take him out because he wasn't for trans rights, so you want to take him out because he was criticizing the Jewish state or whatever, the juicy state, right? Whatever that is, right? Why would you then go back and detail a whole email to you or text message to your roommate confessing everything you did, like Gargamel and Azrael on the Smurfs? You giving the whole bad guy, confession. I did it because I wanted to take over the world, and I broke my rifle down in 2.2 seconds, and I really.
And then not only that, they're showing some new text now that they're putting out because as time goes on, they're gonna keep redoing the text because ain't nobody really paying attention. Now he was talking about his texts were going back and forth where he was almost talking like he was trying to kick it to somebody at the time. Well, babe, I was just, honey, I was just trying to do X, Y, Z, and this, that, and the other. I'm like, come on, man. Come on. This is just this. You know what? I hate to say it, man. This shows the state of America. Yep. Back in the day when they did clandestine operations, it was very well thought out. It was very well executed.
Yep.
And it was very well hidden.
Yep.
And there was always a couple people that just spent their life's work trying to uncover the truth, and eventually they got it. But now, and you want to talk about DEI?
Yeah, exactly.
It must be some DEI on their side because they are high. Well, what's happening is that nepotism is what's killing them. Because they're bringing Billy Joe Jim Bob in, and Billy Joe Jim Bob ain't got nothing but an associate's degree.
Yep.
And now you're trying to have him carry out master's level work, and he ain't there yet.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So that's what, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get high on the supply, because that's one of the biggest things that's going on in this country. We ain't producing nothing. They want to. They are getting. One of the things that we have to understand is when they go after us as hard as they're going after us, it's because they realize and understand that their situation is getting worse. And so you do that to not only deflect, but you do that so that individuals would really not understand what the real issues are in America. What's the biggest industry that you find right now? Weed, smoke shops everywhere.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
That's the new economy for those who don't know any better.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're right.
When the guy that actually took the shot had debated him at another rally, at another debate rally that he had on another college campus. Hey, Sister Aurora, check this picture out. Brother Luck, check this picture out. It's not the guy that shot him, but look at what this young Jewish kid that was debating him on a college campus had on his
sniper. Yeah.
Ain't that something?
And with the history of mass shootings in this country, why was that kid allowed to go in that? And you see how many people are behind him?
Mm-hmm.
Got a whole gymnasium, a whole event full of people, and this dude gets allowed to go up to the mic with a sniper T-shirt on. Now, do you think any other demographic would have been allowed to do that?
Nope.
Not at all.
Not at
Wouldn't
all.
they have been allowed to come inside?
So my account is this has been well in the making.
Well orchestrated.
This has been well kind of developed. Yeah. It's a psyop of a really big order, and I'm going to show you guys a not a vid real quick. I'm going to show you guys, well, it's a video, but I'm going to share my screen because I got it on another page. And I got this from BitChute. If y'all want to look at some Rumble and BitChute, just this particular one is on BitChute. I'm going to enlarge the screen so y'all can see it. This is a picture of him actually getting that work, right? I'm not going to say the other part, what is actually happening. But they said that he got hit in the neck. But I want you guys to look at this real quick if you can. And I want you guys to see exactly where his shirt lifts up at and how his body maneuvers itself once the actual action takes place. Here we go.
Kind of like
see
Kennedy, right?
There? Do you see the guy?
Yep.
Watch him pull the Glock. Watch him put the Glock down. Ooh. Did you see it?
Wait a minute.
Yes, sir.
No. Wait a minute. I'm not.
Yo, you got to send me that link, man.
Yo, crazy, nasty work. So the shirt lifts up from the side where he actually got shot from. The shirt lifts up. And then you see the dude to the side of him put the Glock down, and you see the silver shine from the Glock as he's going into action like he's some security. But I think dude got taken out from the side.
Wow.
I'll send you that link, bro. I'll send you that link. It's on Rumble and it's also on BitChute, and they do a whole analysis of the psyop of it all, and the rest of it. It's nasty work, man. It's nasty.
Like I said, it was sloppy work.
Yeah, nasty work, man. Nasty work with that one.
Because typically, you can get a guy who can take that shot from 100 yards away, but he had to have a spotter if it was going to be a sniper.
Right.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys ever listen to any Webster Tarpley.
Because you don't want to hit the wrong person at a low angle, like trying to hit him in the tummy where you got hit. Right. You don't want to hit somebody else that's kind of passing by or, getting in the frame or whatever. Yeah.
Did you guys are familiar with Webster Tarpley?
Yes, sir.
And he has a whole thing that he did years ago on the lone gunman. He said
Mhm.
every assassination that's been a psyop or deep state has always been the lone gunman.
Mhm.
Look at throughout history,
Wow.
always the lone gunman.
Wow.
Yeah. Now we don't have on our 10-4 kufis, so everything that we're saying is not true to a, undebatable degree. But please do your homework. That's what this is about. This is info, so you could be aware. Go
Mhm.
out there, do your research. We got a big broad internet. We got a lot of ends. Listen to people, cross reference, use your intelligence, and see if these things make sense to you. So there was one representative, congressional representative, and she was calling for the death penalty. Do you remember that? Just recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when they find out that the Tyler Robinson Joker was the one that took out CK, now he need Jesus.
Mm.
Ain't that something?
So you was ready to fry dudes' organs. You was ready to liquefy organs.
Mm-hmm.
But now that it's the other cat,
because they thought it was a DEI hit.
Yeah.
Yep.
We can have a come to Jesus meeting now.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Elon Musk was ready to lead the charge, throw his fist in the air, and get on horseback. And now that they found out that it was this cat, everybody wants him to, repent. But you notice when they had him doing the long range hearing, what did he have on?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Me neither.
They had him in the hearing for court, Sister Aurora, with a bulletproof vest on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's the standard.
What that tell you? What that
That's
tell
the
you?
same way they did the one who
He's
killed 9
protected.
people in South Carolina.
Yeah, Dylan Roof.
protected
It's the
him.
same thing they did with Dylan
Kill
Roof.
the Burger King.
Yep.
So
He has a bulletproof vest on in a virtual hearing.
That's what they did.
In a virtual hearing.
A virtual hearing.
That is crazy.
He had a bulletproof vest on.
In a virtual hearing.
A Zoom hearing.
That sent the message. It wasn't even about him. It sent the message about how they want to take care of him. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They don't take care of him. He good. That's what that message was saying.
Yeah, he's one of the good old boys.
We got some people on the inside that might want to take a crack at this dude.
Yep.
And we don't know where they coming from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because it's like anything. It's like anything else. It's like anything else. You know what I'm saying? Those that are in the know will move a certain way, but those that are not in the know also moves a certain way. But that certain way is the other way. You know what I mean? And that's why certain folk is like, yo, y'all can say what y'all want. Things that CK say and things that the orange juice says too, the orange juice man, is like, y'all, people want to say, oh, that they're just expressing their thoughts. That's all they do, and they just talking. But the people of lower mindset take that into like gospel and feel like they're acting out on the words of God the way they move on that, because they're dumb, deaf, and blind and simple-minded. You know what I'm saying? So they moving on it like this is gospel. So you got people pulling up in a gas station. One dude pulled up in a gas station, sister pumping her gas, right? She might be taking her little time. She a little sassy. He blows his horn, tell her moves out the way. She get out of her car, even though she could just drive off, but she gets out of her car and is like, no, I'm not. What you rushing me for? Boom, 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 giving them the play-by-play real quick. You know what he does next? He pulls out and puts it right on her nostrils. He pulls out a gun and puts it damn near right on her nostril, right on her nose bridge, on camera. Got these young dudes inside the gas station little shop coming out, nah, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And his gun is in her face and she's still giving him the words. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I'm saying. People like that get the battery put in their back because of people like CK. You know what I'm saying? He gets up there with his little colorful words. You know what I'm saying? He the type wouldn't even crush a grape in a fruit fight, but he put in the battery in the back of somebody that will. You know what I'm saying? From a distance. Never
And
met
the
him.
question is, what was the goal of all of this?
Oh,
Right. Right.
Because just real quick too. Also, if you saw anyone knows anything about high powered rifles, if he would have got hit in the neck, like they said he did, the other side of his neck would have blew out.
Yep. It would have went
None of
clean
that.
through. It would have went
And
clean
this
through.
one, and if you look at the close up shot, it blew out the side of the neck that he got shot on. It'll make a perfect little hole going in, and it'll blow out the backside. And if you look at what happened with him, it was pretty obvious. He obviously blew over to the other side, and then you see his stuff splatter out the side of his neck. But we still have to ask ourselves, what were they testing?
Right.
Were they trying to put? What were they trying to push a civil war?
Well, you saw the movie. What kind of American are you?
Yeah,
I saw that movie. That movie was crazy. They've been.
but here's something we got to understand: the majority of our men, black men in America, can't own a gun,
right?
Unless it's illegal,
right?
So if this stuff goes down, brothers gonna have to bring out the illegal gun. But if they bring in, say, the military, for example, and start cracking down, a lot of our brothers are going to find themselves back in, on penal institutions, man.
Yeah.
But add a little levity to this. You see what happened in Chicago? Was it Chicago? No, Memphis. They were going to bring the National Guard to Memphis. Well, they did, but nobody's talking about it. You want to know what happened in Memphis?
What happened?
As they call them, the YN. I don't like to use that term. The YNs stole 2 of the tanks and was driving them down the street, chilling.
Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of here!
Oh man, there, I'm mad I missed that. I'm mad.
It's out there. It's out there. Look for it. They all hanging all off the side. You would have thought it was World War II again, man.
Next show.
Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. I wouldn't have even seen.
You got to remember. You got to remember. A lot of people in the National Guard are nothing but weekend warriors, man.
Yeah, that's true.
They guys who school teachers and office guys and stuff like that, man, who went into the, to get a little money, help pay for school.
Right.
And they did the weekend warrior routine.
Wow, man.
So they ain't really, some of them ain't really built like that.
Right. Right.
Because the reality is the ones who are built like that, and I learned that, man, and as much as I didn't like the fact that my son went into the military, I'm so glad he went, because there's so much that I learned from him, just from him being there and stuff. We had a guy who he was saw some stuff, and the guy come up and he's acting like, first of all, this is pretty funny. The old guy gonna say, "Hey, what kind of neighborhood is this?" And he's talking about where my son had his vehicle over at his mom's house. And guy says, "Yeah, it's a lot of coloreds around here." And I'm looking at this old white dude like, is he trying me right now? You're looking like this can't be real, man. This was like a couple years ago. Like, this can't be real. This dude just sat here and said coloreds to a black man.
Exactly.
And then he got his military jacket on. He got his little wings because he did a jump out the plane. And so I thought he started talking. And so I started asking him some questions, man. Come to find out, man, that did 2 years back in 1963 before Vietnam even really hit off. And he never got deployed. And during his training routine, he did one jump.
Oh, his feet sore.
But all these years now, he played like he's super veteran.
Yeah.
He was airborne, all this other kind of stuff, man. But he's about as soft as a fresh biscuit, man.
Yeah, he's soft.
And then when I found, like we all know, if you've been there, you cool about it.
Right.
But if you haven't been there,
you're loud.
You're always trying to, you're loud.
You're loud.
Exactly. He up here playing the role like he was super soldier, man. Yeah. Like, bruh, all you did was roll in the dirt for 2 years.
Damn right. Damn right.
And then came home, and now for the past 60 years, you've been acting like you super veteran.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's what you get with a lot of these. You get a lot of these white boys that are like that, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A lot of them puff and puff, but when it comes down to it, they ain't got the heart, man. It's a small segment that's ready to throw down. And I think partly what goes on and what was taking place with CK was he kept pushing how violent we were. And that is to spook these people and to scare them into picking up arms and protecting themselves.
Yes.
And that's why he always pushed the Second Amendment.
Yes.
And said, hey, it's okay if we have weapons.
Right.
You know, we're going to have some violence. It's okay. It's just par for the course.
Yeah. But you know, his little chump ass didn't realize the words sound power. See, that's where his education lacks. You know what I'm saying? He don't understand word, sound, power. Oh yeah, it'll be okay for a few people to die every year for us to maintain our rights to bear arms. It'll be okay
but
for
you know what happened to him, man? What happened to him was he did not realize to what level he was a pawn in the game.
Correct.
Yes.
That's the bigger issue right there.
That's the bigger issue. Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
His privilege and his arrogance. His privilege coming from a very wealthy family and his arrogance. Ever since he was young, from what they say, he was the perfect patsy in the scheme.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll tell you like this. If you believe in the Second Amendment, and it's not just the ability for people to brandish guns if they have them and be sovereign in that nature, that's not what the Second Amendment was originally posturized for. It was Adams and Madison that were the proponents of the Second Amendment, because they didn't want any more Bacon Rebellion and no more Stono Rebellion. So it was about protecting the franchise.
Right.
The Second Amendment and the initiation of the Second Amendment was about protecting the American franchise of slavery. It wasn't about every sovereign citizen being armed and protecting their right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That was about protecting the franchise.
Yep.
So if you hear somebody out here and they are staunch and they of that demo and they talking about this staunch Second Amendment this and staunch Second Amendment that, they're really talking about using violence to protect the bottom line, the dollar bill, the franchise. So that's just something we gotta always interject, because that was the climate back then. You know what I mean?
Right. And
they didn't want no more Stono rebellions. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Yeah, you just enlightened me for sure.
They didn't want no more Bacon rebellions. They didn't want that. That was a big blow to their enterprise, and they had to do a lot of what was the name of those, the police, the slave patrol. They had to enact the slave patrol to get a lot of what they call their quote unquote property back. A lot of that.
And then also you gave people a right to bear arms, so that for those slaves that can escape, you can now you can bring them back. Because you ain't gonna tell me to come back and you standing there with a stick in your hand. I'm like, we're gonna have to go at it.
Right.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I ain't even gonna stop to listen to you, man. I'm gonna keep going.
Yep.
But if you were able to pick up a gun, now go ahead and march the person back.
Yeah, man.
Unless they were just ready to die right there.
Yeah, man. But we've been here for 400 plus, and I'm just tired of this.
Oh God, yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, have mercy,
Sister Aurora. What you think? I'm a little tired of that.
No. What you need to do
done with that.
You need to show the picture I sent you today.
Well, someone had that on Facebook. They used that.
That's all over social media.
Yeah, and you put his face there. That's why I'm laughing, because that was like, I said, oh, the internet.
Yes.
The internet is undefeated.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we got, and then and then you get some of us who's like our buddy Mr. Williams taking pictures with CK, like it was the best. Like Dude, I know. Like, look at who I like. You clout chasing, bruh?
For
Like,
real.
is that
Right.
Rihanna or
Yeah.
you know?
Clout chasing a dead man that hated all of us. Clout chasing that. You know what I'm saying?
There's so many of
Kundis
us
Owens,
who
as
have
they call
taken
her
pictures
now.
with that
Kundis
dude.
Owens. You get a load of Kundis Owens, as they call her now. You know what
Hey
I'm saying?
man, that's that meritorious manumissions, man. You know,
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
Yep.
folks, them
That's probably
folks
that's probably
buttering them
Kundis Owens'
biscuits,
great
man.
grandfather right there. You know what I'm saying? Great grandfather. That chick, man. She got real skills, but I can't stand her perspectives, boy. Oh gosh.
Well, you know, she's going through a metamorphosis right now, man. Because I think she's had a few things that has happened to her, you know, that has caused her to move around a bit. I ain't saying she's come back to the melanated side,
Hell no.
but I'm just saying that she's now taking more of a world view of things. And she realizes, like, you know, Malcolm did and like Martin did, that there's a bigger world out there and there are things that are going on. But I think right now she sounds more like David Dukes than anything. Because he's hardcore against Jewish people right now. And he's been on that kick for quite a few years now.
You know what I'll say is this. Like, you know, sometimes one minute I'll say I can't stand none of her perspectives, and another time when I'm really like not just being on a rant or whatever. Look, for one, she got skills. All right, she got skills. I've observed a lot of her footage. Maybe not all of it, but a lot of it. You know, I watched her sit down with those students and debate them, you know, this sort of thing. I seen her on debating golly, what's the good brother's name with the big fro and the glasses again? Cornell West. So I seen her arm wrestle with him a few times or whatever. She got some skills. You know what I mean?
Have you seen her wrestle with the rabbi?
I did. I like how she put foot to ass.
That was real good, man. She
like
really didn't look bad. She really
I like that. I like that.
But this is once again no true lies though.
Yeah.
Because she literally said the sky is blue. I'm just kind of making this up to give an illustration. The sky is blue, and because the sky is blue, those people over there, I be doing some strange things. Oh my God, I can't believe you just said that's anti-Semitism. Oh my God, you sounds like you want to kill my people. And she's sitting there like, what?
Yep.
What were my words, dude? What were my words? And it's one of those things where I don't know if it's you know, borderline personality or what, man. But when you talk to some of these people, you can say one thing and their brain works into something totally different. And you're trying to say to yourself, where the hell you get that from?
Yeah.
I wasn't even remotely close to saying something like that. But they say it. And when they say it, it's the words that they've been taught to say that definitely wakes up everybody.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you didn't say that, but they heard him respond to.
It's the dog whistle, bro. It's the dog whistle.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. Well said, Vic, and well said,
it's
brother.
The dog whistle, and I think that's what this is too. I think, like Sister Aurora said so eloquently, this is to send a message not to us, but to other groups, and to other multinational orgs and whoever it was meant for. This was a message being sent from one multinational org to another multinational org. We see you. You know, Queen gets Bishop, Queen gets Rook real quick. Knock it off. You know what I'm saying? We can get to you. When we need to get to you, we can get to you.
Yeah. That's one of the messages I picked up from that.
Yeah, if we want to get to you, we'll get to you. We got to Trump, we got to the CK cat.
Yep.
But everybody else is doing the the panopticon. They obeying the messaging. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We sick. Human lives. And here's the thing. When are we going to realize that they don't care about our lives?
They'll never care about us.
They don't care. Things could happen to us inside, outside, in and out. they would not care. They would continue like it's nothing happening in the world. And all of a sudden,
And
we're supposed to stop
we're supposed to end everything. We're not supposed
and,
to speak.
and genuflect.
Thank you. We're not supposed to open up our mouths.
And you know what's but the sad thing
Every
about this,
toe pulled off because of this thing. And I'm like, come on. I said, everyone is getting, everyone is, they're trying to put the fear in from you opening up your mouth enough.
Right.
You
That's
know,
they
why.
definitely
That's why I did
fascism
the
is definitely
episode
in
on
effect.
the That's why I did the episode on the Panopticon about the mass surveillance, the mass influence, and how it influences behaviors and behavior patterns. If you think everybody's watching you, then you're gonna step and fetch.
Yeah.
Facts.
You're gonna
Well,
you gonna carry you gonna toe the line.
but you know what has to happen
Right,
though,
bro.
man, is our folks need to understand that these are nothing but distractions.
Yes.
Although they're
absolutely.
trying to accomplish something,
Yes.
we cannot get distracted, and we need to keep an eye on the prize, a prize that we need to have.
Exactly
And
what I posted today.
that's the prize of survival. Man, this
Yes.
country is falling apart.
Don't let
There are
this
major
be-
things taking place economically in this country that's going to put us behind the eight ball.
Oh
You
yeah.
know what I mean? So we need to be in tune to those things, and we need to get back to. I tell everybody, go out and get the book by Elijah Muhammad, How to Eat to Live. Brothers, you may be only eating one meal a day, and it may
Yeah.
not be that big. So you need to start now and get prepared for that. You know, we all been living fat off the hog because we do all right financially, and we can go out and eat at some of the finest restaurants. But we got to get our act together, man. You got to be able to walk
Yep.
10 miles in a day
Well,
with
not
maybe
only
50
that.
pounds on your back.
Well, not
Go
only
ahead.
that,
Yep.
you're right about that, brother. But we also need to check out some of these UN SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. Check
Yes.
out Sustainable Development Goal 16, where they talk about money pools
Yep.
and how everybody is going to, willingly or unwillingly, your savings, your 401k is going to go into a SDG money pool that will be shared multilaterally across the world, with whether you like it or not.
Well, it has to happen because if you're talking about AI and robotics taking over, we got to have money to now pay people
Yeah,
and give them that universal basic income.
yeah. But if you
Or
taking
we may
that little
do,
bit every time you get paid and you put it into your 401k, that's run by BlackRock and all these other, big,
hmm
these big mutual firms. They're gonna put that into these SDGs, these things called money pools. Go on the UN's website, look up SDGs, look up SDG number 16, and look up money pools. You can even Google it. If we don't make a stink, like my grandmother used to say, if we don't make a stink about this, that 401k gone, baby. That investment gone, baby. It's
and
going into places you don't want it to go. You brought up
that's why,
the money line, bro. That's why I just had to put that out.
yeah, no. And that's why they tell us crypto is bad, but
Mm-hmm.
yet they're telling us it's bad while they're buying it up
Exactly.
because they know if we go into the crypto world, they can't control it.
Exactly. They're tanking the value of Bitcoin and everything else out there so they could put their own coin out. Right? Absolutely. But
And they're buying.
I got another show all planned for that. I just got to make sure all my lefts are right and all my rights are left, and we gonna get into it.
And did you know that the U.S. is quietly buying up all its treasury bonds?
Really?
Think about that. Yeah. Buying up all its treasury bonds.
All those inflated treasury bonds, huh?
Mm-hmm.
While we're getting ready to have a freaking housing crisis. But we going way far down the rabbit hole. I wanted to show y'all something before we leave, man. And check this out. Brother Godspeed, tell me what you think of this. Sister Aurora, tell me what you think of this before we get out of here. So it says What are you going to do to help protect children from school shooters? The dude says nothing. So you could waste all kind of tax money. You could waste all kind of military power while we're in the middle of these quote unquote wars, right? To be in American cities, up people's culo about things that are already a panopticon because you got a camera everywhere.
Right.
There's a camera every half a foot.
Right.
You're walking around with cameras on you, but you still need to have policemen and paramilitary in every major city in the country.
Right.
But then when we talk about the demo, the Charlie Kirk type of demo that is affected by Lucky Bounce, okay, cool. But
I'm here.
that is affected by this demographic that's wilding out right now. He says he's not willing to do anything.
Nothing.
Ain't that crazy?
Nothing. But I mean, but he's a phony. Just look with CNN, I think when I was watching earlier, they said, "How you holding up?" You know, like it was his son that died. But how you holding up? And he sits there and says, "Y'all see those trucks over there? They're here to build the best ballroom ever that the White House hadn't had a ballroom, and we're going." And I was like, "Wow." Okay, so if y'all, if America's gonna sit there and drink the Kool-Aid that he's serving, we have to be ready. We have to go back to the 70s and 80s of preparation time for our folks.
Well, you remember, like to your piece that you just put up there. Remember, I always bring up this great artist's name, the Intelligent Hoodlum. Tragedy, the Intelligent Hoodlum had a record on Marley Marl and Control Part 2 called America Eats the Young. He was ahead of his time. That was in 1992.
I remember that.
He was ahead of his time.
No, that was a powerful album, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
From a young mind, from a young New York City boy, that was a powerful album.
Oh yeah.
He was aware of a lot of things, man.
He was
aware of a lot of things.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sad to say he's right all the way back then to now. Sad to say.
And based on what you just said, Sister Aurora, you know that Trump and Netanyahu both came out and spoke about CK
at the same exact time.
Now, if this ain't the fix, you got world leaders in the middle of wars, right? And they come out to speak on this nothing burger. There were 18,000 deaths in the United States on that very same day. He's the one these two came out and talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me something. Talk black to me. Talk to me. Come on.
And they came out and happened to say it at the same exact time.
Right.
At different parts of the world.
Crazy, man. Like, that's nuts, man.
Out of all the people, that 18,343 deaths, these dudes are talking about this one man. Tell me the fix. Come on, the fix got to be in, dude. He didn't.
Yeah, it's on another level, man. It's showtime. It's showtime.
But you know what? Once again, like I said, sloppy, man.
Yeah.
There was no real precision in all this.
Yeah. It's given, like my daughter would say, it's given Netflix.
Yeah.
It's giving very much Netflix.
It's looking like it's a Tubi special, man.
Yeah. It's like, did you see this new movie that just came out? I don't know about the acting, but it's a black movie, so I'll watch it.
Right.
Yeah,
I'll give it 5 minutes.
Yeah, for real.
Yo, bro, this is nuts, man. This is nuts. So one thing that I wanted to show, right, before we get out of here is I wanted to go. There's a Rockefeller Institute, and they put up stats for mass shootings in the United States. And I'm not going to run through all the statistics and all the variables that it offers right now, but you can go down and you can go to the Rockefeller Institute and you can watch their whole spiel and their whole spread they have on statistics and mass shooters since 1998. This is a certified problem with these white boys in this country. Certifiable. You just see the numbers right there. Look at the numbers right in front of you. That's how many injured. That's how many people got fatalities, 1,700. Total victims, 4K. Number of shootings, 500. So yeah, 500
I
uh,
won't be able to.
mass shootings in the United States perpetrated. And if you go on the site, you continue to look at it, it'll show you that it's perpetrated over 50% by them white boys.
That's why when you have a person like him, you always just engage in fast talking sound bites.
Yeah.
Because if he spoke to anybody who had some sense or who had enough knowledge and can articulate it, blow him out the water.
Yeah. Oh, and then the chick from the White House, Pat Bondi, the correspondent, she's giving directives that any businesses that talk bad about Charlie Kirk will get a federal lawsuit. You heard that, Luck?
Yeah, you know what? I've been hearing
That's
things
wild.
rumbling. Yes, I did hear that in passing.
That is wild. It's not just rumbling. It's right there.
Any
businesses that talk ill of CK is going to get a federal lawsuit.
A federal lawsuit. This
crazy. And you telling me the fix ain't in?
Yeah, the fix is all the way in, and you know what?
The fix is in, bro. Come on, man.
As simple as that.
This is masterpiece theater.
Yeah, this is nuts, because it's like saying, hey, look, you know what? Everything he stood on and everything he represented, we stand on, we represent. He's a microcosm of our macrocosm against you. That's what it come down to.
Yeah.
You know
so
what I mean?
This is just like the Hollywood director that came into Eisenhower's presidency and helped him direct his inaugural address to the nation. They hired a Hollywood producer to handle the president's address to the nation.
Wow. Crazy.
And here we are, up until this point.
Crazy.
Up until this point, we dealing with it's giving Netflix. It's the whole Tyler Perry costume, dog and pony show.
Yeah. Even the incumbent Mayor Adams got in. Make sure he stayed in his lane, because one of his underlings has said, "Oh, this CK person got what they had coming to him. You reap what you sow. Chickens coming home to roost." And they were like, "Whoa!" Adams was like, "Whoa, hold on now. You can't f up my hustle. Where am I gonna get that pardon from if you do that? Ah, massa, we sick.
Right.
And fired him. The dude got fired. That dude got fired.
Oh,
too.
show.
He got fired, bro. I was like, whoa. I was like, damn, that was the first sign of what you talking about. I was like, damn. That's crazy.
Like I said in the
sorry.
No problem. Like I said when we were looking at the when we were doing the Elders and Ancestors blueprint, and we're talking about Moses Makasik, right? The great engineer in the United States, brother, has an empire for engineering and building homes, buildings, architect. He's just dynamite. One of the richest melanated families ever to be in the United States, right? We got to get fundamental with it, and we can't be fancy with the luxury. We can't be fancy. If you got to go to the lake and fish it out, that's what that means. We headed there. If you got to build them yams in that backyard, then you plant them seeds and you create them yams in that backyard. But at least you can hold your own nuts to say what you need to say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When somebody holds the control strings to how you eat and living and moving, then you at the behest, you at the capitulation. You capitulating for somebody else. You bending the knee. All right, y'all. This was real dope. I don't want to take it past 10. So make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment, turn on your notifications. So every time we have a Real HD show, YouTube can jump in and have a higher discussion. Hey, listen to the little poochie in the background. They like the show. And y'all like, share, and subscribe to the show too. So for everybody in the Real HD crew and everybody watching on the replays, tap in. Y'all, I'm going to say peace to y'all. Y'all walk with power, and we will see y'all next Wednesday. Don't forget to check out all the other shows on the channel as we move towards Sunday. Peace, y'all.
Peace, everyone.